Staffs or staves, depending on which plural form you prefer, will pleasantly surprise you if you are new to GURPS. In D&D they were underwhelming weapons, but in GURPS they are extremely good. Staff is definitely a very good weapon for a new GURPS player, but an experienced one will be able to use some interesting tricks as well. Staff is an average difficulty skill that defaults to Dexterity -5, Pole Arm -4 or Spear -2. Let's take a look at the weapon table in GURPS Low Tech. This weapon category is not that big. Many of the weapons appear at Tier 0, which is nice, but there are some Tier 3 weapons as well. All staffs have a thrusting attack and a swinging attack, and all staffs require 2 hands to use. Finally, the most important feature of staffs, most of them have a whopping +2 to parry, making them excellent defensive weapons. Jaw is a relatively short staff, but not short enough to count as an actual short staff. It costs merely $10 and is quite light, so it might break on a parry against a heavy weapon. Strength requirement is very low. Reach is only 1 yard. It can also be used with a two-handed sword skill, but the stat line is worse. Quarterstaff is longer. It has reach 1 to 2 yards and damage is better. It weighs twice as much as the jaw, making it a sturdier weapon, and its strength requirement is only 1 point higher. Cost is the same $10. Just like the jaw, it can be used with a two-handed sword skill. Long staff has the same damage as quarterstaff, but has reach 2 to 3 yards. It weighs 1 pound more, costs $5 more, and has the highest strength requirement of all staffs, ST10, which is still not high. The next weapon on the list is quite a mouthful, Tiankundri Yue Dao. This is a metal bar with a sickle-like blade at either end and 2 handguards, each with another crescent-shaped blade on it. Unlike previous staffs, this one can swing for cutting damage and thrust for impaling damage. Both ends can be used against adjacent opponents as a dual weapon attack that deals thrust cutting damage. This weapon's hilt provides DR4 to both hands on a roll of 1 to 3 on 1D. In close combat you can also deliver hilt punches for cutting damage with brawling or dexterity. This is an exotic weapon, so all attacks, except for the hilt punch, take -1 to hit, and this penalty can be removed with the exotic weapon training perk. This is an interesting weapon, as it can be used effectively at reach 1, still can be used in close combat, is versatile in terms of damage types, and still has +2 to parry. However, it costs much more than your normal stuff, $250. Sotegarami is a reinforced staff with barbs along its length and a barbed head that is either forked or T-shaped. It can swing and thrust like a quarterstaff at reach 1 and 2, but its primary attack is a sharpened hook for snagging clothing. Unlike all previous staffs, Sotegarami does not have a bonus to parry, and its hook attack is unbalanced. There's another related weapon that is not on the table but is in the text. Sasumata ends in a wide blunt fork, intended to enclose the opponent's torso. Use the same statistics, but remove the thrust +2 crushing attack. However, a Sasumata wielder can shove a standing foe using the staff skill, or pin him if he's prone or against the wall, both at reach 1 and 2. The same entry also details the Urga, or Mongolian pole lasso, but I believe that it's meant to be used with a pole arm skill. Another weapon is listed in Pyramid 389, the Kakhara, a $250 quarterstaff with metal sharding, rings, and an outsized head, giving +1 to damage but -1 to skill, unless the wielder has the appropriate exotic weapon training perk. If you'd like to have a full metal staff, consult GURPS Fantasy Tech 2. The same book has many double-ended weapons, some of which are wielded with a staff skill. Even without any special rules, staffs are quite unique and easy to use. But if you'd like to get tricky, there are some interesting things in GURPS martial arts. Useful techniques are armed grapple and sweep. The latter can help you exploit your long reach to knock an opponent prone and then deal with him with more ease. The book also has rules for using other weapons with a staff skill, such as 2-yard pole arms and spears. In some cases, this switch can be done as a free action. You can, for example, thrust with a spear, then switch to the staff skill for that sweet +2 bonus to parry. The Form Mastery perk allows you to do that multiple times per turn. With a staff that is also at least 2 yards long, you can slam without damaging yourself, or you can shove 2 opponents at once. You can slam 2 opponents at once too, and you can even target the neck for a better injury multiplier. The Shoves and Tackles perk improves this application of the skill. In addition, when you are using a staff, you have halved penalties for multiple parries in a turn, making you even more effective in defense. In addition, you can parry both halves of a dual weapon attack with a single parry roll at -1. You can also use a defensive grip to increase your parry even further, but make your swinging attacks worse. If you'd like to switch grips as a free action, buy the Grip Mastery perk. I should also point out 2 perks. Combat Vaulting is a cinematic perk that makes your staff improve your jumping and acrobatics rolls, and Sacrificial Parry lets you parry an attack directed at an ally beside you. With your long reach and high parry, this makes you a valuable ally. And that's basically it. What can I say, staffs are excellent. What's bad about them is that they usually are limited to crushing damage, and the damage cannot be improved with quality modifiers. I highly recommend you to try out a staff in GURPS, you won't regret it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.